Has the mystery of the Paracas skulls finally been solved? This is crazy, so let's talk about it. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, the Paracas skulls are endlessly fascinating, not just because of their inhuman attributes, but because skull binding was practiced all over the world, from France to Australia to ancient Egypt. King Tut's family practiced skull binding. So why this global practice of skull binding? Well, the very global nature of it, to me, implies the artifacts or fingerprints of some sort of ancient civilization or race of being. And some of the elongated skulls that we find in Paracas don't seem to be caused by skull binding at all, but they are naturally elongated. They are inhuman or human hybrids, whatever they are. So who were those people? Well, we finally may have gotten a glimpse of that, and I'm going to walk you through it. It's really exciting. Who were these guys in life? Who were they? And if you don't know, the Paracas skulls, dated, say 2,000 years ago. The elongated skulls of Paracas in Peru caused a stir in 2014 when a geneticist that carried out preliminary DNA testing reported that they have mitochondrial DNA with mutations unknown in any human, primate, or animal known so far. Now, a second round of DNA testing has been completed and the results are just as controversial. The skulls tested, which date back as far as 2,000 years, were shown to have European and Middle Eastern origins. These surprising results changed the known history of how the Americas were populated. Now, I've talked before about how one skull has half of its DNA, it's Scottish. Well, apparently there's also Middle Eastern DNA in there. How did that happen, right? Scottish DNA, Middle Eastern DNA, but these are not humans, at least not strictly human. So who were these guys? What were they all about? How did they influence the cultures of that area? So Peru is, the Paracas is right there. It's not super close to Nazca. Nazca is right there, but it's not that far away either. So, you have to wonder, because the Nazca mummies are, about 2,000 years old, right? They range from about 3,000 to 1,500 years old from the dates that we have so far. So, you've got a group of non-humans over there, and you've got a group of maybe hybrid humans or something right there. You've got to wonder if there's some sort of interaction. But some of the answers may not be found in Peru at all. They may be found in Mexico, in actually I Googled it. I'm not going to mispronounce this word. It is
Teotihuacan.
There you go. You heard it right from Google pronunciation itself, or enunciation. I've long been fascinated by Teotihuacan ever since I read Gary Jennings' book Azteca, a severely dark and disturbing book, brilliant book, an awesome book, one of the best historical novels I've ever read, but deeply disturbing. The Aztecs themselves were deeply disturbing people. It's a big book. About half of the first book is just all about the Aztec culture and the trials and tribulations of the main character. And then the Spanish come in, and things get even worse. Things were already dark and disturbing before the Spanish came, and things get a lot worse when the Spanish come. It's a brilliant but very dark book. But the main character, a learned and scholarly individual, will look back, onto the past, and he will often talk about Teotihuacan. I didn't say that right. Okay. But, and ancient site with these monumental buildings. Who built them? It was a mystery to the Aztecs of the time from that novel. And it was, has long intrigued me as a mysterious place. So let's get to the what the answers might be. Okay. And it comes, of course, from a remote viewing session. We get, if you don't believe in remote viewing, I can only encourage you to do the research on it. The, CIA had a remote viewing program for many years. They had psychic spies. They had enormous success. And they developed this system, this protocol developed by the Stanford Institute, how to use psychic abilities, and anybody can do it. Some people seem more naturally gifted, but anybody can learn how to do this stuff. And some people that can do this stuff really well are the people at the Future Forecasting Institute or group. And Dick Allgaier and Daz Smith, who I've been following for a long time, have partnered up with these guys, and they do incredible remote viewings. Well, they did a remote viewing of Teotihuacan. I said that right. And they got a lot of really intriguing stuff about the monuments and the culture and the weird technologies they seem to have had, maybe even time manipulation technologies. Really amazing stuff about that ancient city, the city of the gods. That is what they called it. Why did they call it that? Well, very possibly because it was ruled over by the elongated skull people. That is what Dick Allgaier got about 50 minutes into this session. There's before that is really fascinating, but we don't get a glimpse of the elongated skull people until Dick Allgaier's session. He's the only one that was able to see them. And what he saw were godlike beings with big elongated skulls. They sit on thrones and teach specially selected elite members of high society. And this is the Mayans or pre-Mayan people. A secret school. They taught them math and algebra, geometry, architecture, astronomy, wisdom, not just survival. An upgrade was going on. There's a passage underground. It goes to a very long way. There's a lot of really interesting stuff about energy and force fields and some crazy stuff that was going on there. We don't get a lot of glimpses of the elongated skull people other than that. Oh, yeah, they may have been interested in genetic manipulation. And that may, my theory is that may be how the elongated skull people came to be. But Dick says that the elongated skull people had powers. They were telekinetic. They had other abilities that normal people did not have, and some of this they may have taught to those people. They can do magic. They can make things levitate, materialize, and dematerialize. They did demonstrations as an act of power in dominion. So were they goodly beings? Well, those cultures did practice human sacrifice. Was that instigated by non-humans? I hope not, because that certainly, throws a negative light on the phenomenon and a scary light on the phenomenon. And it should be noted that Quetzalcoatl, I believe he had the biggest pyramid in Teotihuacan, and he was against human sacrifice. So, maybe if the biggest pyramid represents, the inhuman powers, then maybe they were against human sacrifice, but the other gods were in favor of human sacrifice. I don't know. That's a positive interpretation, if there is a positive interpretation of human sacrifice. But if the phenomenon was not responsible for that, that would bode well for our future interactions with it, right? So it's kind of an important point to nail down there. But yeah, there you go. So, obviously this is north of Mexico City. This is far from the Paracas region. Teotihuacan, I said that right, was abandoned, 1,500 years ago or so. Dick Allgaier was seeing the Exodus. The reason for abandoning the city of the gods was unclear, but there was smoke and there was confusion, and there may have been war. There was a fear of oppression and slavery. So it seems to be some sort of a war thing going on there. Was maybe the reason for the abandonment of the city. Could those people then have gone to Paracas in Nazca, possibly? Maybe, entirely possible. Some of them seem to have already been there, though, judging by the dates of those skulls. But either way, they were in that area, and if they were as powerful in Paracas as they seem to have been in Mexico, then, were they the leaders or the priest or the, gods of those people? Again, we need more answers to more questions. And if, this is just one remote viewing session and only one remote viewer was seeing this. So I would love some more corroboration on this. But Dick Allgaier is really good, and he's a really fantastic remote viewer. And he often has just brilliant sessions where he's able to make real vivid contacts, even interactions with beings at times. And keep in mind, this is under double-blind conditions. They have no idea what they're viewing or what point in history they're viewing. But they all were seeing Teotihuacan. How do you say that?
Teotihuacan.
There you go. They were all getting different slices of it. Some of them were seeing the high technology. Others were seeing the structures. Others were seeing, the like plumbing and stuff, or what seemed to have been plumbing with water and stuff. Some of the spectacles they were performing in their amphitheater. Various things. People were getting different things, but they were all getting it. They were all making contact on this target. But Dick was the only one to see the elongated skull people. So again, I would love more corroboration on that. But, if they are Inhumans or human hybrids of some sort, it would make perfect sense that they would have, fantastic abilities and technology. And that they would be seen as gods or, priest kings or whatever by the human peoples of the day. So this is, to my mind, the best insight we've ever gotten into the elongated skull people and who they were, how they interacted with the humans of the time, and the level of technology they may have possessed. What happened to them? Well, some of them died. Obviously, we have their skulls. Did some of them go elsewhere? Are they still here? Again, we just don't know. But this is a fantastic possible glimpse into a vanished people, at least vanished for the moment, and how they may have interacted with humans. And again, they were in the same area, not too far from Nazca, around the same time. So it's very likely the elongated skull people were interacting with the Nazca beings. Just speculation, but, it's hard to see how they wouldn't, right? And if the Nazca beings are hybrids, as seems to be the case, and the elongated skull people are also hybrids, which seems to be the case, since they have human DNA that can be traced back to the Middle East and Scotland, then, there's definitely a connection there, right? This hybridization, this genetic manipulation and modification, as Dick was seeing, was one of their interests. So let me know what you think about all of that in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button. Get some merch in the merch store. Become a channel member to support Cosmic Road. I really appreciate all my channel members. And channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.